Every day, more than 20 million videos get uploaded to YouTube. That's almost 14,000 every minute. So if you are posting once a week and calling that consistency, here's the real problem. Your competition isn't a person posting once a week, it's the creator right next to you in the algorithm. Using Claude to research the audience, test 10 titles, and organize a month of contents before breakfast. Microsoft 2025 World Trend Index found 46% of business leaders already using it to automate entire workflows, not just answer questions, and Therapy itself estimates Claude can cut the time on certain tasks by around 80%. If you clicked on this video, you are in the right place. By the end of this video, I'll show you how to use Claude more efficiently to improve your work and contents, whether you are a student, an office worker, or a creator. If your entire relationship with Claude is typing writing a script and copying whatever it gives you, you are barely touching what it can actually do. And if you are worried about falling behind as AI changes the way we work, watch till the end. I'll take you from basic concepts to practical, actionable steps you can start using immediately. I've also prepared a free guide to help you think more quickly, differentiate yourself, and stay competitive in the AI era. Hi, I'm Jiaming. This channel is for people who want to learn how to make money online and build an online business, as well as how to use AI to boost productivity. I'm building this channel in public, only 5 videos in. So no, I'm not pretending these workflows make me viral, but it's made my planning less chaotic and cut hours from my production. And I'll show you the before and after later in this video. The danger was never Claude replacing you. It's the creator with a better system finishing an entire video in the time it takes you to write one sentence. Here's the whole path. Research the audience, validate the idea, package it, build it online, and what only you can add, produce it, run one quality check, and let the results teach you the next move. And the most important step, the one that changes everything, happens before Claude writes a single word. I'll come back to that in a minute. I'll also show you later how this workflow doesn't just write the scripts, it actually touches the finished video file. Be honest, how many times have you opened a brand new Claude chat, asked one question, copy the answer, and never gone back to that conversation again? I used to do this constantly. Comment below if that's you too. The problem is Claude has to learn who you are over again, every single time. You've probably got dozens of half-finished AI chats and scattered files by now, and somehow you still feel like you are starting from zero every week. So I tested side by side. I answered blank chat for 5 video ideas about Claude, and asked the exact same thing inside a project loaded with my channel positioning, audience, and brain voice. The blank chat can be generic. The project version can be already tied to my actual audience and my business angle, without me explaining any of it. Better outputs don't start with the better prompts. They start with better context. Once Claude knows who I am and who I'm talking to, I start re-explaining my channel every time, and every answer gets a little sharper than the last one. Once Claude knows my channel, the move isn't give me video ideas, it's research. I use deep research, and sometimes Claude in Chrome to browse directly, pulling from comments on competing videos, forum threads, and the exact questions people type into Google. You probably know this feeling. An idea sounds brilliant in your head, but you have no idea whether anyone actually cares. So instead of asking Claude what's trending, I ask what my audience is actively trying to solve that YouTube still hasn't answered well. Last time I ran this, Claude helps me identify 3 frustrations that kept appearing across several creator discussions: usage limits, generic AI-sounding writing, and having to re-explain the project context, with the actual comments links underneath each one. A trending topic with no angle of your own just makes you one more voice repeating the same headline, and by the time your video is edited, the trend has usually peaked. A real audience problem doesn't inspire in a week, but research alone doesn't stop you from wasting a weekend on a wrong idea. That part comes next. This is the step I promised you at the start. Before Claude writes a single word of the scripts, I tell it not to help me write anything yet. Just argue against the idea. Why would someone click? What have they already seen a dozen times? And why am I assuming that might be wrong? One idea felt exciting right on until Claude pointed out that a couple of bigger channels had already covered the exact same angle, and I had nothing new to add on top of it. Don't spend 10 hours writing a video before you know if anyone would click on it. I have Claude generate and compare 10 title directions: curiosity, outcome, and risk-driven, plus one clear thumbnail concept. And I check whether the title and thumbnail just repeat each other, which was half your hook before the video even starts. I had a real keyword report recently that proved this. A title I love was built around a word with barely any search volume and a falling trend. The one-word swap doubled down on a term with over 1 million monthly searches, a fraction of the competition. Same hook, completely different discoverability, and Claude can check that in minutes instead of 3 weeks after you upload. I write my own point of view first, then hand it to Claude and ask it to find the logic gaps, challenge my assumptions, suggest any sample I might be missing, reorder sections, and cut anything repetitive. Claude should challenge your thinking before it expands your writing, not the other way around. If you label everything from a blank page, you'll probably get the same examples, the same structure, and the same conclusion as everyone else. The information may be correct, but there's no reason for anyone to hear it from you specifically. But the next step is where most AI-generated videos lose their personality completely. Here's what Claude generates with just a topic and zero personal input. Clean, correct, and completely forgettable. Here's what happens when I add one real story. A version where I explain what it actually felt like watching 4 videos in a row barely move the needle. Same information, completely different reason to keep watching. That's the part of this process I never hand over. Real stories, real failures, actual opinions, the moments where I'm talking to you instead of at a camera. Think about it from the other side for a second. If someone handed you a report that was entirely AI generated and nobody had checked a single line of it, you'd still be the one responsible when something in it was wrong. Claude can help you say something clearly, but it can't decide what's actually worth saying, and it definitely hasn't lived your life for you. Remember I said earlier this workflow doesn't just write the scripts, it touches the actual video file. Here's that part. I use 𝐓𝐶𝐶 to keep every script version, research notes, and thumbnail file organized in one place, instead of scattered across my desktop. But the bigger on that is 𝐶𝐶. I record my voiceover first, then I tell 𝐶𝐶 what I want cleans up. It drives a few free tools already on my computer to handle the repetitive work. Whisper creates the captions, Auto Editor removes the long pauses, and FFmpeg burns in the captions, adds music, and exports the final versions. Horizontal for the upload, vertical for the shorts. This is a short test for my 𝐶𝐶 editing workflow. I want Claude to transcribe this clip, remove the long silence, and create readable captions. The original file must remain unchanged. To be clear about what this replaces and what it doesn't, it replaces the grind, transcribing, trimming pauses, exporting formats. It doesn't replace what the video says or which moment matters. The part I used to eat an entire afternoon and honestly used to be the reason I dreaded Sundays. Now it comes down to a small fraction of that, since 𝐶𝐶 is handling most of my repetitive work automatically. I'm not telling you this to sound impressive, I'm telling you because this is the actual gap between a creator who treats Claude like a chatbot and a creator who treats it like a production system. The video isn't better because the robot touched it. It's better because I got my afternoon back to spend on one thing that still can be automated, figuring out what's actually worth saying. Before anything gets published, I run it through a Claude scale I built once and reuse on every video. Does the hook get to the problem fast? Does the video deliver what the title promised? Is anything repeated? Are the numbers I quoted actually sourced? And does it still sound like me instead of a robot? I built this because I kept making the same 3 mistakes on repeat and only noticing it after a video was already live, which is a rough way to learn. Now Claude catches them before I hit publish, using the exact same checklist every time. That's when Claude stopped feeling like a collection of tricks and started becoming part of my actual workflow. After a video goes live, I hand Claude the analytics, click-through rates, the first 30 seconds of retention, average view duration, where people drop off, what people ask in the comments, and ask it to separate what the data actually shows from what it can't prove yet, and what to test next. The worst part about a low view count was never the number itself. It was not knowing whether the problem was the title, the idea, or the video. My channel is still under 100 views a video, so the sample size is small, which is exactly why I should Claude reads as my second opinion, never a verdict. Sometimes that second opinion is uncomfortable. It might show that people drop off right after my hook, but I promise the middle of the video didn't keep, or that a title got a click, but the story underneath didn't hold anyone past the first minute. A low number isn't proof you should quit, it's information about exactly one thing to fix before the next upload. You may be thinking, this all sounds useful, but how does any of it actually become a business? That's exactly where most creator workflows stop too early. A video shouldn't just disappear the day after you publish it. You don't need Claude to give you more content. You need it to help you make better decisions before you waste another weekend on the wrong idea. Everything in this workflow points back to one idea: think before you build. Before you trust Claude's first answer, before you copy someone else's title, before you launch a product before anyone trusts you yet. So I wrote all of it down. It's a short, free ebook called Think Before You Build, covering how to think critically about AI, YouTube, building real online income instead of chasing shortcuts. Links in the description. As the workflow, start with what people actually need, let Claude challenge your thinking, and automate the repetitive work, not the part that makes the video yours. AI isn't gonna replace every creator, but creators who build an actual workflow around it are gonna move a lot faster than creators who only ever ask it to write, and that gap is only getting wider from here. By the way, if you are still opening a new chat every time and starting from zero, that's fine, everyone starts there. I was too, 4 videos ago. Pick one step from this video, just one, whether that's the projects, the idea stress test, or the editing pipeline, and build it in before your next upload. 9 or 10 steps, 1. Grab the free ebook, Think Before You Build, links in the description. And if this is the kind of thinking you want more of, this channel is where I'll keep sharing exactly how I'm building a real online business. Subscribe if that's useful. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and see you in the next one.